Hello, everybody. We're kind of building out what you worked on last week, that statement on a wicked problem of your choosing. It's going to be the focus of a lot of your writing for this course, that same problem. And we're going to draw on it in two different ways, along with the reading in our two textbooks. Let me take you to the assignments page to show you a little bit about what I mean. If you see your statement right there of a wicked problem as you see it, and by the way, you'll see your score on it Monday, if not Sunday night. This builds on that. It's going to use a little bit from it. In fact, each major writing assignment you'll have in this course will incorporate bits of the previous writing assignment as we build on your skills and your critical reading skills. This one's worth 100 points, so twice as many points as your statement on a wicked problem. And it's got to be the same problem you identified. And you're going to do some research. You're going to focus on what some experts have said on your wicked problem to get a better idea of how that problem works, what the complexities are, the strategies. I'm kind of paraphrasing Chevalier's book title, right? That's my point. So I'm going to give you kind of a cookbook approach to this. And by the way, you'll see something get incorporated as I go through the various instructions. Okay, you're going to need an article from a Mesa College library article database. You're going to need a website, at least one, and a second as well, because either a second article or a second website. You need a total of 3 expert sources. And I don't mean some lame blogger on YouTube or some influencer or whatever. Real experts who actually have done research and published something. Let me take you there. Let's say you're ready to start looking. Let's go to the Mesa College Library's article databases on the list. And let me show you what I mean. Don't feel lost or disoriented by the sheer number of them. I'm going to give you a workaround and a set of quick, useful approaches. And let's find the databases. I like their orientation, by the way. If you've never used a college library, it might be worth your time. A lot of videos here. And they kind of explain what a library database is. It's basically a collection of many, many individual databases that help you find materials, in this case, articles on your wicked problem that you've chosen. And there are a few of them. They also give some useful information on citing sources. Now let me take you to the databases. And the orientation was where we just were. I'm looking for the list of A to Z databases. They're offering you a lot of help, but what we need is also some information in the actual databases. And if we hop on down here, there it is. You notice what I open? What are library databases? They moved some things around since I taught this class in the summer. Okay, over 100 databases available. Don't try to look at them all. I'll give you some ones that would be good candidates for your search. See what they're all alphabetical. There's one that's pretty good, EBSCO, and you have to tell it you're looking for an article, or it'll list books as well. You don't need books, you don't have time to read a book. In other words, go for articles. I think, no, I don't see that other one up here. And this is worth a bet too, Academic One file. But if you're into it for 20 minutes and you haven't found an article, stop. And instead, talk to a library through an online chat. And it's right there. Live. I'd do the live chat if I were you. It's there 24/7. It's staffed by a research librarian, either from our college or a similar college to ours. Telephone is also handy, but of course, you've got to call them during their open hours. Or if you're on campus, even better, face-to-face. And don't feel like you're bothering them if they look busy. Their job entails a lot of different things, but one of the key ones is helping students access library materials. So don't hesitate to say, okay, I'm working on a project for Professor Pickford's class. I've picked a problem to look at, and kind of explain what it is you're working on, and your conversation with the librarian will help you get an idea of what kind of sources to look at and where they are. Okay, so let's go back to the assignment. Once you've done this, and you'll start your search, and you'll find at least one article on your wicked problem, maybe two, depending on whether you're going to use one website or two. Then use Google for your web source. And remember, not just some lame blog put up by somebody who's pretending to know something and actually just wants to force their opinion on you. Look for some real hardcore, exacting research by someone who spent a few years looking at the problem. Actual sites that show actual research. Okay? State, local government, federal government agency website, a university affiliation, it'll have edu at the end, and or a well-known organization in that area. Okay? Now, as promised, that first paragraph is going to be most of your first paragraph from your statement on a wicked problem. Then you're just going to add a little bit more of your stated purpose of examining 3 sources that discuss it. And that's your first paragraph. And then your second, third, and fourth paragraph will discuss your sources. Each source will get its own paragraph. And here's a little tip on talking about how your sources frame the problem. And quoting, I'll talk about a little bit about that next week. You're going to use chapter 2, and they say, I say, to get started in the writing. Remember, this is due in 2 weeks. And be sure to read all the way through this assignment, not just what to do, but what not to do. And you're going to need to add a little bit after your final paragraph. And I also tell you something to consider for your last paragraph right there. So I would start working on this very soon, like early this coming week, because this will take you some time to gather the sources. And there's a bit more writing. So far, you've written a 2-paragraph assignment. This is 5, so it'll take you more than twice as long to write it. Okay. Back to our class. And as you know from the assignments page, there will be the usual discussion and reading questions on Chapter 2, The Art of Summarizing, and a little bit on citing sources. Okay? And if usual, if you have any questions, try the chat room here on the discussions page or message me on the inbooks page. Good luck, and I look forward to helping you get a handle on using expert sources.